The song I'm currently hyperfixating on is I Do, which is actually one of the English songs. It's a weird song, because the main rapper slash leader slash producer for the group, Soyeon, is not in charge of the English album at all, to my understanding, like the production side of it, so it doesn't really feel like an idol song. But I Do is still very good. Now obviously I'm into like the current, most recent EP they did, which the song Girlfriend is very good. Good Thing is, again, very second gen, which I enjoy. I like Chain a lot. Aiden, I know you're probably gonna be smug about that. I'm predicting it now. But I swear it was a coincidence, because I was literally just going through all the tracks and Chain is the one that immediately stood out to me. Yeah, I knew the colon 3C was coming. Let's see, I like 7 Days from the previous full album. I like... Super Lady is also very second gen. It reminds me of The Boys by Girls' Generation. But not... I don't think it quite hits the same note for me. And I'm also not super into The Boys, to be honest. Like, it's not my favorite Girls' Generation song. Even though that was like kind of their breakout here in like the US. Yeah, I remember seeing a video of them performing it on the David Letterman show, and he looks so confused by what's happening. You were talking about your hyperfixation, well now it's my hyperfixation, so like, thank you, I guess, for that. Because I don't know if I would have gone back into Idol if you weren't like talking about it a bunch before the drop. In terms of other music I like, I went through a huge Japanese rock phase, which also leads to me having to embarrassingly admit that I liked Sword Art Online around like 2013. So I actually do really like the music, at least still. It's Yuki Kajira, I think. Kajira, who also does the soundtrack for Madoka Magica. So like the music's great, and also the vocal themes are usually pretty good for Sword Art Online. So like, for example, Lisa, not to be confused with Blackpink Lisa, Japanese singer Lisa, did the first opening Crossing Field. That led me to Angel Beats, because she was the singing voice of Yui in that series. I don't know if that led me to Fate Zero or not. I also really like the group that did the ending songs for Fate Zero, Calafina, but they broke up actually a few years ago. At this point, like 5 or 6 years ago, probably. I don't know if they'll be back for the new Madoka movie, but it won't be the same if they're not. I think a couple of them might have been confirmed, but I don't know if the full group is back for Valpurgis Night, or however it's pronounced. I am not an expert on German. I'm also really into Madoka Magica. That was definitely one of those anime that, like, I don't want to say it changed my life, because that sounds very hyperbolic, but I think it kind of did, in a way. There's, like, another anime that Zon's trying to get me into, and I really want to watch it, but I think it would also break me, because just thinking about the ending broke me. But I almost think I want to watch it at some point. It's weird, because it's like trying to figure out the best frame of mind to watch this anime. Angel Beats was really good. I have a hot take. Do you want my hot take? This is a stupid take, and it actually spoils 2 different shows, so I don't know if I should give this take or not. Angel Beats is one of them, the other is a Western show, or like an American show. I have 2 takes that go together. My one take is... the episode Heaven Sent of Doctor Who, and yeah, Heaven Sent specifically, is Madoka Magica for British people. And I don't know how to elaborate beyond that. And I don't know if that does anything to spoil it either. Oh my god, I just realized that health was off the screen. And we're gonna live. I don't think we'll actually beat Dedede, because we can barely move. But hey, we'll at least survive, because we have like infinite health. Watch 9 and 10, hell yeah. I like the 12th Doctor. Surprisingly. But on a related note, my other hot take is that Angel Beats, or like, The Good Place is Angel Beats for like, American people. I don't know if that makes any sense or not as a take. Like, that might be the most nonsensical thing I've ever said for all I know. And I've said some real nonsense, I know. But yeah, the anime Son is recommending to me is Girls Last Tour, is that the name of it? But it's like, I look up the ending because she's like, I think it might be kind of heavy for you. So I look up the ending, it's like, and I just cried for like 2 hours after that. Like, just reading about the ending. Which is like, I don't know if I should watch it, but it definitely is something that hits very close to a visceral fear of existential fear of mine, which is like, I don't know if that makes it something I should watch or not. Because on one way, maybe it would be helpful to see. And yeah, I've been really contemplating trying to do more stuff with friends, try to figure out stuff to do with friends. In general, like... Again, there was a suggestion of a race between me and Zon on a game, and we never actually got around to doing it. So it's like, at some point I need to talk to her about, like, this proposed race, because it could be very funny and very cursed, if we end up doing this. Some people know what the race in question is, but it shall remain a secret. As far as I'm concerned, because I think it'll be funnier that way. To just be coy about it. Wow, they just aren't giving us the Dragoon this time. This is really annoying, because I like the Dragoon a lot more. It'd be awful for fighting Dedede though, because it goes so goddamn fast. It'd be a horrible mistake to pick up the Dragoon. So yeah, in terms of other anime I really like, I did the debut thing a few months ago. So yeah, the list was Fruits Basket, Madoka Magica, Angel Beats I think was on there, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood for sure, Sailor Moon, obviously, it's my, magical girl thing that's been, like, phase that kind of has never gone away. Sometimes I realize, like, how much of a magical girl phase I'm still in. To go full circle to what was previously being discussed, hey, watch the music video for Good Thing by Idol, and you'll know what I'm talking about when I say, wow, my magical girl phase is still ongoing. Never left. There goes Dynablade. If you can actually hit Dynablade in the head, you can actually get a lot of items from her. You'd be down to do a thing? Hell yeah. I just need to figure out what, basically. Oh, that was bad. Okay, abandon ship on that. Huh. I like how the Hydra parts don't respawn, they're just sitting around, because, like, I don't want to pick them up. I'm gonna try one more time to aim for the head. Damn, we have a lot of wing stat, apparently. There we go. Hell yeah. She can take multiple hits, though. I'm not gonna go too ham with that. But yeah, it is funny to me in hindsight that, my bias in Idol did not end up being Mion. Because, again, you'd think, voicing Ari, and again, the reason I almost considered getting into League at all, I would like Mion. As that would just immediately carry a bias going in. And yet, I did not immediately gravitate towards Mion. I like Mion, but not, like, top tier, if that makes sense. Damn. We have so much turning, it's fine, but... In terms of other K-pop groups I've listened to a bit of aespa, not that much. I've heard some of LE SSERAFIM, partly because of all the Overwatch crossovers they've done. Let's see... I've heard BTS because everyone's heard BTS. If you've seen a Samsung commercial in the last, like from circa 2019, you have heard BTS. So, I'm just gonna say it like that, like... Of course I've heard BTS. I have been on the internet, is how I'm gonna describe it. See, that makes me wonder if one friend I know actually has heard BTS, because she does not know music. She didn't know who Taylor Swift was, practically. Like, she couldn't name a single Taylor Swift song. And it's like... Yeah, I wonder if she would actually be aware of BTS at all. This also leads to the funny bit of I got her to react live on someone else's stream to the lyrics of Queen Card by Idol, so that was fun. I guess I heard some of Super Junior, because again, my friends who got me into K-pop really liked Super Junior. Again, I think I've only heard one... Oh shit, items are fake, damn it. I think I've only heard one 2NE1 song, and I wasn't really a fan. It was one of their big hits too, which was unfortunate. Oh, New Jeans! Of course, why did I forget New Jeans? So that goes into a whole other thing, is New Jeans was rumored to be the featured artist 2 seasons ago in Festival. But supposedly Miku was like a last minute switch. I don't know if I entirely believe that, just from the perspective of how much time they were like teasing Miku for a while. Like that would take a lot of dev time to put in the game. But then again, other things do indicate something went wrong, because like Miku's implementation didn't have like a special event to it like a lot of the other featured artists, including Sabrina Carpenter. But like, you know, I was winning either way. We're getting Miku, I'm good. If we're getting New Jeans, I'm still good. Like, I would have been happy with both. Like, straight up. But then, like, there was all the controversy with the record label and their contracts of like, oh, we don't actually have the ability to perform together anymore. So, oops. And that just kind of threw the whole thing out the window. It wasn't a case of, oh, the band broke up or the group broke up. It's like, there are active legal issues because of how they are disbanding this group. And then you have 50-50, which is a whole thing. You feel like you're in the same position as Gwen's stream the other day, where you have no idea what's being talked about, and you're just politely nodding along anyway. I literally know that Aiden is the only person who understands what I'm saying. Like, I kind of feel like, from what I understand, like, I think only Aiden would actually have any clue of what I'm talking about. So yeah, don't worry about it. I'm just ranting about K-pop at this point. I should probably change the subject, to be fair, because it is very, like, niche still. The problem is, with this Dedede fight, I've gotten close so many times, I'm going into, like, obsessive mode of, like, one more try. Come on, one more try. And it's gonna be, we're gonna be here all day. If I keep doing that one more try thing. Alrighty, let's give this one more try. And by one more, I mean probably more than one more. I'm gonna change the timer to 7 minutes to give me more time to collect stuff. I really like Guilty Gear. I can also just ramble about Guilty Gear if I want to talk about a different hyperfixation, or I can talk about Xenoblade if I want to talk about an even different hyperfixation. But yeah, if you were to ask me right now, what are my top hyperfixations, it would be Idol, if we're talking about music. And I also am really into Guilty Gear still, and I'm also still really into like Xenoblade. Again, Xenoblade 3 is like one of my favorite games ever. I can't wait to play it on stream for Fox Girls Favorites in the year 2029. Because why are my favorite games mostly RPGs past like the year 2008? I still don't know what the hell I'm doing with Persona 4. The remake might be out by the time I get to Persona 4 on stream. And also, the game has so much weird stuff in it that I'm not sure if I'd even want to do it. Why is everyone saying help, help? This isn't Luigi's Mansion 2. But yeah, I used to have a big Taylor Swift phase in like high school through college. I kind of fell out of that recently. I still listen to her music, but I also just kind of don't approve a lot of her choices in recent times, and I will leave it at that. Basically relationship choices on her part, and also some career choices that I do not like. But again, I'll still listen to her music from time to time, but definitely not a hyperfixation at this point. Xenoblade isn't as active of a hyperfixation at the moment, because there hasn't been anything recent except X. X's remake, which is like, eh. I haven't played it yet. I'm kind of holding out hope that maybe there'll be a 60 FPS update, because one was data mined. Like early workings of a 60 FPS mode were data mined. I'm just getting bullied. I also didn't really talk about this, is that you can just kind of fly around a bit. They do cap you at like 3 or 4 floats. So it's not as freeform as like an actual Kirby game, though Forgotten Land also caps your flight. But you're like, you know I've got it bad right now because I've been considering... This is a different topic, by the way. You know I've got this hyperfixation bad because I'm like, what if I try to learn Korean? Like... To be fair, I do have legitimate reasons to potentially want to go to Korea at some point. Not anytime soon for obvious reasons, but eventually, like, I would like to go to Korea at some point in my life. That puts an idea in my head and I don't want to throw it out there too prematurely, so I don't know if I should just keep it to myself or not. But like, I don't know, it's just that kind of the random thought about like trying to get like a group together, like a group of like close friends, kinda, to like all go to Korea together. Because, you know, otherwise I'll be in a foreign country by myself and that would be a little scary. But again, just kind of like a hypothetical on my part. This is gonna suck. I don't like the Slick Star, because you have like no traction. Permanent ice physics the vehicle. No, this isn't the Slick Star, that's the Slick Star, the pink one. This is the Turbo Star. This one also plays like ass. Could be great. Group trip circle concept, yeah. What the hell was that? Why was the Hydra piece under a box? Like, it was just spawned, and then another box spawned on top of it. At one point I actually tried to look into like my birth family, and I kinda got left on red, and then I started thinking, oh wait, South Korea in the current year is not the most progressive place and would probably not be welcoming to me. Therefore, maybe I shouldn't go to South Korea right now. But that is how I discovered some things about myself, and yeah, that was not gonna end well, I could already tell. There was no way that run was gonna be a success with how scuffed their vehicle was. But like, I think part of the reason I was even given up for adoption in the first place is because of like stigma in South Korea over like birth defects and also single parents. Therefore, I was definitely a little bit screwed from the word go. It's got a lot more real than I was meaning it to be. To be honest, I was not expecting to have this deep introspective talk about my life during Kirby Air Ride of all games. But again, this is the whole point of this series, the favorites, because it's kind of me introducing my life in a way. They're gaming, and again, gaming is such an integral part of my life, it kind of makes sense. So yeah, I have mixed feelings on Korea as a culture in some ways. They have gotten better, admittedly, but there's still a slight bitterness, I guess, because of just how the culture treated me. Before I was even sentient and aware of how the culture was treating me. But again, that's probably a heavier topic than I should be having during Kirby Air Ride of all games. So yeah, in general, I gravitated more towards Japanese culture for the longest time. I think I had like, a bit of a resentment towards Korean culture, actually. Which is also part of the reason I didn't get super hardcore into K-pop until much later. Just because, again, how much like I felt personally burned by the society of South Korea. So I just felt like slightly resentful in a way. Another thing I think about a lot is like what games I actually grew up with and how they kind of just shape me in different ways. And again, part of the point of this whole retrospective series. But like the general idea I've had is to try to play the games relatively in the order I played them. I might make some exceptions later on because I realized a couple games I skipped over, and I might actually go back and want to do. Like Lego Island 1, because of the recomp, basically, it was not as far along when I was playing everything out, so I kind of ruled out doing Lego Island, I think. But now that it's like almost done and as close to perfect as you can expect, Lego Island would almost be tempting, but that would literally have to be like the first game if I could go back in time and do everything over again after like the Mario trilogy. I told the story, I think in a call last night. I had like the complete boxed edition of Lego Island in like the fancy box, not just the jewel case version. It came with like a whole like comic and everything. Not a comic, but like a guidebook of sorts. It was really cool, but then my cat threw it up. Well, actually not my cat, but my family's cat threw up on it because she just kind of was like that. She was not always the most healthy girl, unfortunately. Very sweet cat, but she tended to not hang out with me very much. She liked my siblings more. I'm excited for Air Ride 2. I need to know more about Air Ride 2 before I can be excited for it. If that makes sense. Like, this is kind of my way with hype in general. I don't really get excited for games unless I see a lot of gameplay. Even something like DK, which comes out in a month, we have seen so little gameplay of that I don't really care that much about it. It's like, once we know more about the game, I think I'll be more excited for a lot of things. But there's just a lot of secrecy around, like, certain games. Like, we just don't even know, like, core gameplay style of Kirby Air Ride. I assume they're doing a city trial, it's just we don't know. So I don't want to get my hopes up because all we have is like a pre-rendered trailer, which is funny because Sakurai did an entire video complaining about pre-rendered trailers not being a good way of hyping up games. So then he announces Air Ride to a pre-rendered trailer, so it's like, oh, neat. And all power-ups are very rare, so it's kind of nice that we've gotten so many, both from that one in the field and also the UFO. Oh my god, I dropped a lot of stuff there. There's also a Metal Gear event tomorrow, right? I think that's what I heard. The hope is a collection, I think. Volume 2 of the Master Collection series, which everyone hopes will have Metal Gear Solid 4, because that one is stuck on the PS4, or PS3. That one actually would take a lot of work, because there's a lot of, like, brand deals in Metal Gear Solid 4. There's like a lot of PlayStation stuff, and there's a lot of like Apple products. It's like Snake in 2018 or 2014, so using like an original iPod. Looks really silly now. They'd probably just change it to like some kind of radio or something. Yeah, the multiplayer isn't full Metal Gear Online, which I guess is fine. I don't care about the multiplayer. The reason I hate multiplayer is trophies, because like every game will have achievements tied to multiplayer, and it's like, I will never get these achievements, so I can never 100% this game, and it sucks. But that's just my petty, like, completionist self talking. Attack. Attack is just cat backwards. It's not very creative. But yeah, I'm not like super into Metal Gear. I enjoy the games I've played. I'm not like super hardcore into them. Again, the fun story I have is that the first Metal Gear I ever played was 4, because that was what was current when I got into it, which of course was because of Brawl. Also because I wasn't like old enough when Brawl had come out. Because like 2008, I would have been only 13, so I would have played MGS4 a little bit later. I don't think I was actually 17 at the time, but for an M-rated game, MGS4 is relatively tame, I'd say. And you can also turn blood off, which helps. You know, it's not like Metal Gear Solid 5, which like earns its M rating a lot more, in my opinion. I don't feel strongly about a lot of games at the moment. Again, my most anticipated game of the year is Mina the Hollower, which seems very promising from the demo. However, most of what I'm looking forward to is indies. Again, it's like this temptation of like the little like 20 minutes I played of Date Everything was really interesting. But I'm like, do I keep playing the demo? Because you can play a lot within just the demo. But then I'm also like, what if I just wait for the full game? It's coming out in like a week. Oh, this is bad. We don't want that much top speed, I don't think. So yeah, definitely interested in that. There's a lot of indie games I still haven't played from last year. I talk about this every time, but it's like Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is like a game I really want to play, but I still haven't because it came out at a really busy time, so I never got around to it. But that's by the developer of Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is probably one of my favorite like recent indie games. It's not even that like deep of a game. It's very much like almost feels like interactive music videos around the topic of like breakup and like healing. But it's really good. I recommend it. It's kind of like Tetris Effect, where it's like the gameplay itself is pretty straightforward, but like the oral experience, spelled A-U-R-A-L, because I'm like, I feel like I need to spell this out loud to know so people know which word I'm actually trying to say, is like really good in Sayonara Wild Hearts, and I highly recommend it. Tetris Effect, and also this Luminous, essentially Tetris Effect, which looks really cool. I'm not into Luminous, but I know a lot of people who are. Yeah, the PlayStation show was actually really good. This is like my favorite PlayStation Direct, and it's not just because ArcSys is doing a game with PlayStation. The weird part is I'm not a fan of Disney at this point, so weirdly enough, I'm just mainly interested because ArcSys is making it, not actually for the Disney part. I say as I keep putting off doing Marvel vs. Capcom Collection for stream, partly just because the recent update broke a bunch of stuff. For example, frame rate issues in MVC1 for some reason. They said they were looking into it last month, and there hasn't been an update since. So yeah, here's hoping they fix it. And yeah, there's specific graphical glitches in both CVS 2 and also MVC2 in both collections, because they're like the same engine. But for the, they just patched something? Oh. Well, I need to look into that, because I guess that must have been very recent. Wow, game, you're not gonna give me a single power-up, thanks. Yeah, again, there's a bit of luck of the draw to this mode, unfortunately also, because you have to just hope you get a power-up, period. Which is not a guarantee a lot of time. So yeah, I don't think we're being Dedede today, I'm gonna be real. I do not think this is in my feature. At least on stream, because I'm also trying to talk about things too. That always makes everything harder. Yeah, if they actually just patch the MVC collection, then maybe we'll do a game clearing at some point. Because like this would be a good time for it, for obvious reasons. I feel like I wanted to say something about Aiden too, or like if that would be of interest to Aiden. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. It's like I think part of like the thing with K-pop for me is we're in a feedback loop at this point. Where it's like this hyperfixation is partly just because it's basically given us something to like bond over, I guess. So it almost feels like, you know, I like K-pop, but it's also just been nice as an opportunity to, you know, make friends basically. So there's more to it than just I like the music, because there's almost like a personal component to it, and that's been really interesting. I always bond with people over hyperfixations. It's really interesting. Yeah, friends are nice. To quote the ending of Majora's Mask. Probably shouldn't just be casually pointing out that this is from the end of the game. That's fine. It's a 20-year-old game. I feel like there are some limits in place for me, like Final Fantasy is one because of the remake trilogy. I am a little gun-shy about like just casually spoiling things at FF7, because there is a new way to experience it, so you might actually not know and want to go in unspoiled, essentially, but like feel like Majora's Mask is a case of like, yeah, that game is so old and the remake is relatively the same. And even the remake is like 10 years old now, it's 2016. So... it's like I bond with people over like Guilty Gear a lot, I bond with people over like Xenoblade quite a bit. Some both. Sonic is a big one. I've definitely hit it off with friends because of Sonic. Yeah, those are the main ones I'd say. Some Mario, like, you know, to some extent, but like, I almost think the others more so than Mario, despite me growing up with Mario. Zelda's also up there for me personally, but I feel like I don't know that many people who are like super into Zelda. And like when you get to music, it gets even more esoteric, because it's like, yeah, again, my favorite band being the Japanese band Scandal, it's like the amount of people who probably are widely familiar with their like discography is not the biggest number of my friend circle. At least it's never come up as far as I'm aware. They did a Pokemon ending. It was for the Diancie movie. So that's another song they might be known for, but I feel like the ones for Full Metal Alchemist and Bleach are better known. This is actually very similar to the Puffyami Yumi story, but I almost bought it. I really wanted a particular Bleach game on DS because Shoujo S was the opening of that game. Like straight up, that's how much of a nerd I am, where it's like if there's just one point of my hyperfixation present, I'll want to like play a whole game for it, and it's like weird. Like, I'm so normal about hyperfixations. This Kirby's having a time. Ow, that backfired. Good attempts, nonetheless. Okay, but what if we do one more? I don't have a problem, I swear. Girl, what? What's wrong? I don't see any problems with my work ethic at the moment. Listen, we're getting so close. We're so close to Venom. You know, that's the other funny thing. If I actually did the Star Fox game I have the most emotional attachment to, it'd actually be Star Fox Command. Or Star Fox Assault. Neither of which are like conventional choices. But I started with those two games. Which will probably prompt like at least some reactions of I'm so sorry this was your first Star Fox. When I got into Melee briefly, I didn't really get into Melee to be fair. It mostly just was good because it got me into other games. But at one point I went to like a Best Buy and they had a copy of Pokemon Diamond and a copy of Star Fox Command. It was in a weird bundle that had a bunch of like accessories, including like Nintendo themed headphones. And like I miss that kind of headphone. They're like the ones that are round, but they have like the little clip that swivels out and you kind of like pin your ear between like the speaker part and the clip part. Like straight up, I like those kinds of headphones and they don't like make those as much. Like I've seen some online and I've thought about picking up some because I actually prefer those. Cost don't make some. I will look into that because I actually like this better than traditional earbuds. And over ears also feel really uncomfortable to me. I also have like sensory issues with like things touching my hair, which is also why I don't like over ear of that style. So yeah, I might have to actually look into those because that would be nice. Have some lighter on ears from them that you enjoy. That's good. But yeah, I actually do like Star Fox Command. It's a game I actually have a decent amount of nostalgia for, even though I fully admit it's not a good game. Its story is complete nonsense, but it is still a sentimental game to me, because it's how I got into Star Fox, for better or worse. I also still really enjoy Star Fox Assault too. Again, a lot of it's nostalgia, I'll fully admit, because some of those levels are mean, and the lack of any checkpoints sucks. Okay, there are some checkpoints, but they're very few and far between. At least when like Claire did game clearing a few years ago, it felt like there weren't enough checkpoints. But again, it's been a hot minute since I played it myself. Like, if that comes to NSO, I'll be down. That game has apparently really good multiplayer. I've never played it because I don't have a lot of... I never had like local friends beyond like the neighbor kids I talked about in the earlier video, or earlier parts of this little series. The ones where we got a bunch of their NES games, because they didn't have an NES and we did. So like Top Gun being the main one, Flintstones. Again, I wish I remembered one, which Flintstones game it was, and two, I wish I'd also kept it because it could have been the one that's worth like $3,000 now. It's like if I, you know, had a copy and kept it of like the rare one. Again, I don't know the name of it. Yeah, that would have helped out finances quite a bit. I mean, even now I could sell off my collection of older games and could still be in pretty good shape, in all fairness. Cause like some of the games I own are stupidly expensive. Some of them have actually lost value. Path of Radiance is only $200 now. And that sounds really funny to say only $200, but it was over $300 for a while. The NSO announcement immediately caused it to fall a little bit, which is nice. It's still stupidly rare, but and also very expensive, but it is not nearly as expensive because everyone's trying to get out, basically. And like, Thousand Year Door went down with the remake. It was like also several $100s for a bit, but the remake dropped it down to like $100, which is like still a lot of money, obviously, but it's not nearly as rare, not nearly as like sought after. The other rarest games, or most expensive games I probably own, are the Pokemon DS games. I have like a lot of them. I have like both versions of Black 2 and White 2 both, or like I have Black 2 and White 2 both, and they were like $45 each at a GameStop one time, and I was like, I don't know if I need both. And then my mom talked me into it, because it's like, you'll probably never see the other again, ever. And now I look and these games are like $200 each. So it's like, I could buy like a lot of things with just by selling these two copies of Black 2 and White 2. Which is really weird to think about. The Hail Mary spin at the end, damn it. That was really close though. Bummer. Good try. But really quickly, checking in on the checklist. Again, you can unlock the dragon parts as separate parts on the board, and then when you get all three, you can unlock them in free run. You basically have all the modes that are based on like previous versions, so Drag Race 3 requires Drag Race, or Drag Race 4 requires Drag Race 3 to unlock. You know, getting different high scores and modes. Some of these are actually really strict. Like the destruction derbies are really annoying in my opinion. Maybe because I'm bad at the combat in this game. The time ran out while all players are on the rails. You either have to hook up multiple controllers or pray that they... Actually, it says players. I don't know if that works in single player. KO King Dedede in less than a minute. I feel like that actually wouldn't be too bad with the right build, but again... Also the right power-ups, which again, we didn't get good power-up luck at all. Some of these are just totally luck-based, like getting the Meteor Storm a certain amount of times. We got it like twice, I think. So yeah, in general, City Trial is the highlight of this game. Almost everyone agrees this is the highlight of the game. Again, I simultaneously do understand and don't have the best feelings towards Air Ride and Top Ride, but I also do almost feel like they're overhated. But again, it's kind of hard to deny that City Trial's the real star of the show. But I've kind of warmed up on Air Ride, I guess. So the credits, quote-unquote, for this mode is just like a little clip of all the air ride vehicles, air ride machines. Yeah, this is a very nostalgic game, but again, it's one where I totally understand criticisms for it because it is very bare bones in general. And again, it's part of the reason why I'm interested in a sequel so much, because there are so many opportunities to improve upon this formula. I'm really curious to see what they do with that, because there isn't a ton here as is, I would say. Again, very light on content, and it's designed to just be like replayable. But I feel like the design philosophies of games in general, and also for Sakurai, are very different. Hi, you're sad now? Why are you sad now? Did you finish Steven Universe? I assume that's why you're sad. Anyway, hug. I shall give hug. Final bits of Season 5 hit hard. Yeah, I can... I don't know much about Steven Universe, but I can imagine that. But yeah, that basically wraps up our little look at Kirby Air Ride. This is just gonna be a one-off for a stream. On YouTube, it'll probably be a couple videos. I have no clue how I'm gonna edit down the attempts at Dedede, and we didn't even win. So, oops.